is it going, Tony? My name is Niger Chambers of Big Go Belt Media. It is a pleasure to talk to you today. And I want to say two things before we get started, even before I even give you a chance to speak. I'm so glad to see you back on screen. I was a huge fan of your work, and I seen there was a little bit of a hiatus, and you coming back with your directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken, in a film that I just watched this morning, which I can't even believe I'm getting a chance now to talk to you in all full circle. But Tony, congratulations and welcome back.
Thank you so much. That's
So,
awesome. Thank you.
absolutely. And for you, just how is it feeling to not only being back on screen, but directing, acting, and obviously kicking ass the entire time? How has it been for you?
Yeah, it's good. I'm grateful to be able to wear a few of those hats and just work in the film industry and make some magic,
Yeah.
and have a company like Lionsgate actually see it and like it and put it out there is I'm even more grateful for. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Absolutely. Can't think of a better person that deserves this. And as you talk about wearing the multiple hats here, stepping now behind the camera, what was sort of the train of thoughts and wanting to take on this venture?
Yeah. Um, I just the whole filmmaking process is amazing. And I wear different hats in my life. I have a company that's really dealing with extremes on the planet.
Yeah.
And being able to then come in and be involved in the movie industry also is just it's magical. And then when it has distribution like this, it's even better. So I'm kind of just sitting here going, how did that happen? I'm very happy.
Yeah. I would think that, any set that you on, you sort of do already play a director or even slash a producer role just because of just the vast amount of experience and knowledge you have, both to the scenes that folks are trying to create for the film because of the realism that you bring to it of your own personal life and obviously with your own personal business. So, now that you fully did, was there anything that surprised you now by like saying, okay, I'm officially wearing a hat now. What this is what it is. But any surprises on the ride?
Yeah, I guess I actually mentioned it earlier, in a different interview, and that was when I had to give script notes to Bruce Dern, right? This legend. That's when it was kind of like, okay, I'm on this side of the game now, and and I'm actually giving direction to a very seasoned actor, and he's actually buying what I'm saying. I'm going, wow, okay, this is working now. This is working.
And I have teased the folks, but I want to make sure that they're fully aware. The Weapon, your new film, is going to be in theaters on demand and digital February 17th. Again, I checked it out this morning digitally, but I highly suggest to go see it in the theaters because the film feels larger than life. And I think just following you, somebody I've been a fan of for a while. Now, coming into this character of Dallas, and I love just the posture you give to every scene and then true action star with the one-liners, and then it just gets down and dirty. So like, folks who love those type of films, like this is right up your alley. I would love to kind of talk about Dallas really quickly.
Yeah.
What would you overall say is Dallas story arc? Now, while the synopsis and while even watching the film, I know what his ultimate goal is, but let's talk a little bit about his psyche. What would you say mentally his story arc is for this film?
I mean, this is an individual that grew up with a traumatic history, right? He had witnessed some stuff when he was young. He witnessed violence. He's kind of a product of violence, of
Yep.
extreme violence, right? And I think in general, people become when they become adults, they become sometimes they evolve into characters that could protect the child they once were. Right? They become these
Mm,
strong individuals, except he's bent on getting payback.
yeah.
So there's a lot of fuel there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is his main motivation, really, is stemming from trauma,
Yeah.
extreme trauma.
The scene that we're kind of dancing around here definitely like was like a oh okay yeah. I see why
Did you,
he's
you see that?
the when he's a child within the car.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, yes.
yeah, that scene
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
it.
yep. Yep.
That's
And
it.
I was like, oh, okay, now I get it now. Because the biggest
Yeah.
question with this film is everyone wants to know who is Dallas working for. Obviously, everyone knows who he's trying to save and possibly why, but everyone wants to know who is he working for. And I kept thinking maybe that's a metaphorical thing, and that's why I wanted to ask about the psyche. But yes, a product of trauma absolutely makes sense here. Again, from your experience, both within cinema and obviously in the real world in terms of ex special forces and the covert operative. I want to talk about two really important things. One, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your cast, because as much as I enjoy your work in this film, everyone knows when it comes down to the stunt work and fight choreography, it's a dance. There's other folks involved here. Obviously, I expect you to do what you did, which is why I wanted to check out the film. But there's obviously other folks that you pair with. Could you talk about constructing these scenes and some of your cast members and making this happen?
Yeah, I mean, fights in an action movie are obviously very, very important. Is crafting the action once again. I always have, of course, a big part of that. But we went through some really interesting fight coordinators. Kieran, he's assistant Shannon. Shannon's actually in the movie too. He's one of the bikers. I had friends of mine who are in the stunt world coming in and helping also. A shout out to my buddy Ian. He came in and also did his bit. So people came together to really make this movie that's now in the theaters. I'm like, well, coming soon. So I'm like, wow, maybe there was some love in that movie that brought it this far.
Yeah.
So obviously it had its troubles and issues too, but in the end, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, right? It's
Yeah.
it's like it's coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really been my contributions to being a critic and to cinema right now. Is like you said, coming out of the pandemic, but the residuals of the pandemic is still felt. It's this unpredictability of folks putting their money out on a line and a reputation in order to put out these passion products. And there's folks that don't really get their chance to get an opportunity to do so. But then it is the moments like this when you get somebody like Lion Gates to back it, and you're still kind of picture yourself like, I can't believe we're here right now.
Can't believe we're here right now.
but
That's
as
it.
but as I said, but as always, it's well deserved, and again, it's a very very entertaining film. I had a fun time with it, and for my final question, as I said, a very important question. Anybody that I speak to, who some of the best and most talented folks, both on and off screen, when it's dealing with weapons and arms, and again, your personal life, and then obviously your work on screen. What's sort of your message to not only just the viewers, but just to the entire world about safety on set? And I really wanted to ask you this right away because I've seen you be brought in on sets to talk about this, and I know how important this is for somebody who's running a business and the source of that you are. But again, now being a director with your film here, what's sort of your message to the world about weapons and arms safety on set?
Wow, yeah. I mean, gun control in general is a very touchy subject, right? So on a set where weapons are laying around, is obviously we saw what recently happened, and we saw what
Yep.
the verdict on that is, and that should really say it all. And I've been in situations where, honestly, I've been out in the desert with two ex-special forces instructors and have had an accidental discharge right next to my foot, right, of a 7.62. That's an AK-47 round that would taken my foot off from
Mm-hmm.
an instructor, right?
Mm.
So on a set where you don't even have that type of level of training, it's even more dangerous, and all precautions have to be taken. So
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that very much, Tony. Yeah, folks, you get an opportunity now to check out The Weapon as Tony makes his directorial debut and is kicking ass from the beginning to the end as Dallas come February 17th on demand, digital, and theaters. Tony, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Hopefully, we get a chance to do it again soon.
there's mine. I hope so. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Take care, buddy. Yep.
Thank you.